What's going on, people? It's King Homela here, aka Two Kings. This is the 10% race at Spa. Basically, this gameplay summarizes my approach to racing, or my driving style. I see myself as a very a good racer, and with versatility. Like, I can switch up my styles if need be. Like, for example, this is one of my my skills that I possess in terms of racing. Now, first of all, in this whole race, I wasn't fast. By no means I was fast. I only went as fast as I needed to go, and when we qualified, I knew that. So I knew I didn't have to put much effort into it, just like how Sebastian Vettel done it in the 2011 championship. Now, what he did was, he had the fastest car, so he was able to put on pole. However, he had to work hard, start off the race, pull away, break the 1 second mark to the person behind him, and he done that excellent last season. And obviously this season the Red Bull is not the best car, and with the Pirelli tires, it's made the field a little bit more even. But this is how Sebastian Vettel himself, or Alan Prost, the professor as they called him, would race or would drive. Nice, clean, no mistakes, and only go as fast as you need to go. Like, in the end of the race, you guys gonna see that I didn't have the fastest lap. Someone else did, and I think he was in second place or something like that. I'm not sure, but you can tell why. It would have been easy for him to get the fastest lap. One, he had access to DRS, in terms of trying to overtake someone else. So, because the first sector counts a lot, and that long straight with the DRS open, is worth, I reckon, about maybe 2 or 3 tenths. And in the whole race, I knew these guys were not gonna catch up. I knew these guys, no offense to anyone I race in this race, but I knew they were not good enough to catch and pass me. So I just drove my race, and I was timid. I was calm. I was cool, just like Vettel. Now, I honestly, my not favorite, but I'm usually an aggressive driver, more with Lewis Hamilton or Ayrton Senna style type of driving. Like, for example, Lewis Hamilton is able to just throw the car around and be able to be fast. I honestly think no one else currently in F1 is faster than Lewis Hamilton. I believe, if, let's say, it was like GP2 or Renault series or something like that, and everyone in the field had the same car, I honestly think the fastest people in F1 currently, if everyone had the same car, will be Lewis or maybe Fernando. Because with Lewis Hamilton, is just a pure talent. He's able to throw around, to find that extra tenth where other people are struggling. And yes, I'm not taking any credit from Sebastian Vettel. I mean, in the season he won his second title, he had the best car. Unfortunately for Mark, he couldn't get used to the Pirelli tires, so he suffered. But I honestly think Lewis is faster than anyone else, maybe with the exception of Alonso. Yeah, I know them two have got a bit of thing going on, but for me, it has to be either Hamilton or Alonso. Anyway, let me just digress and talk about other drivers and stuff. Like, my favorite drivers, obviously, currently in F1 are Lewis and Fernando, and another one that I like is Perez, I think, and Kobayashi. But for some reason I can't decide between the two. I'm not sure who's better than who, because I feel like Perez has got the edge over qualifying, but during the race, like, I think, if I'm not wrong, last time around Kamui Kobayashi finished fifth or fourth, I think, something like that, and that's pretty good. I mean, yes, in my opinion, if we had Bridgestone tires, the McLaren or the Renault would be clear. Or the McLaren would be the fastest car by a big margin. But because of the Pirelli tires, I honestly think this has nothing to do with tire performance. Yes, they've lost the double diffusers, and that created that extra downforce. But for example, the downforce they had last season was so immense that the Red Bull could take I'm not sure what it's actually called. Let me know in the comment section what it's called. But it's that fast section at Spa. Basically, you go to turn 1, then there's this center S type of, or it's not a corner. It's just like a left then right. The Red Bulls were able to take that flat out in qualifying, and in Turkey, the Istanbul Grand Prix, they were able to take, is it turn 8, that long left-hander flat out. That's the type of downforce they had. But this season they don't have that type of downforce, and they're suffering. So Pirelli tires have definitely made the racing more interesting. However, I feel like people like Hamilton have suffered in terms of they're not able to do what they love. It's obvious. Every time you put on a fresh set of tires, every driver thinks, oh, I'm gonna go faster. But with the Pirellis, you have to be careful. You have to look after them. And for me, that's not racing. Yes, he has made it a much more interesting